we've got Glynn the Gopher.
Glynn the Gopher.
I'm alive. Yeah, do everything.
I don't want to see that anymore. Anybody else does. Good evening, everybody. Oh my word. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you, and hope you're all okay. You don't want to know what's just been said backstage before we came live. I've got visions in my head and I can't get rid of it. Yeah. You think I'm going to mention it? Yeah. Bless you. So no, it's nice to see everybody. The usual crew are back. Oh goodness me, we're not going to have Nan laughing all night, are we? Again,
I'm holding her in. She's here. She's here.
Oh yeah.
Right. To my heart.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Although
bless you.
I was channeling a
anyway,
lady the other day. Then that was quite funny, but we won't go into that right now.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. So, but I say welcome to the usual crew. Hi to Glenn. Couldn't work out without you. And Graeme.
Oh.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you back, Carl.
Thank you very much. Glad to be back.
Of course, a little quiet little mouse in the corner there.
Shrinking Violet.
Yeah, the shrinking Violet. Yeah. Yeah. But nobody's ever going to fall for that now, are they?
No.
So, but
it is what it is.
No.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But tonight, what we're going to talk about is if anybody's ever seen any episodes of Friends, it's not a line from Joey. But in respect to that, you've got to do it, haven't you? How you doing?
How you doing?
You see Robert De Niro, Paul. He's Robert De Niro, guys, isn't he? He's like
Come
Robert
on,
De Niro.
Yeah,
how you doing?
Come on.
Don't we all think though that with Christina's blonde hair looking like that, she's starting to look a bit like Phoebe with Font?
Yeah.
I am quite Phoebe, aren't I?
Yeah, very much so.
I am a bit Fleabag.
Oh my word! Yeah.
I've got one question. I've got one question for you. Have you got a smelly cat?
I don't have a smelly cat. Peachiness. We'll just go there. We'll leave it to that. You don't want to know,
if they have
guys.
a mask on, you know the cat is smelly.
There's no smelly cat here, I can assure you.
What have they been feeding you?
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
I know, psychic Graham's going to go back to Mrs. Slocum, isn't he?
Pretty much.
Oh, dear me.
I tell you what, if he does go back to Mrs. Slocum, that's the last stream yard we're going to be doing. I tell you, we'll get shut down. Oh dear. So we'll try and get back on track roughly because we've got sort of like wandered as we normally do, and Glenn's decided to clear off now. He's going to bring some things back with him. So right, what we're going to talk about is energy shifts in the universe now. I can't believe I've got this in my head now.
What's going on? We just got froze.
So,
smelly cat.
Smelly
In
cat.
there, everything just froze.
Oh no.
Yes. Yeah, you disappeared, mate. You
Carl's
disappeared,
having a
We all did.
Carl.
Oh,
We all did.
yeah.
We all did, yeah.
Right, so yeah. Strange. But so we're also going to look at how we turn positives into a negative. we just discussed this a little bit last week, but so we've got an extra member of the team. So we're going to discuss how we just turn a negative into this positive. Spirit are all around us. And also, but you've got to listen to them and perhaps interpret what they are saying. Now, certain people will be able to discuss different things, and you might always not hear them if you're not aware of it. So we'll perhaps go into that a little bit. Perhaps Glenn and Christina can go into that a little bit of how you can be more intuitive. I know Graeme was learning very fast and he's doing really well. Perhaps that could be discussed as well, of how we're coming on and what you can listen for. So, but the negativity that's always going on around us, let's just change that. Let's just change that record. And because with that, you get some positive thoughts and positive energy, then you'll soon find it. I mean, you just look at, for example, you just look at us five, because, we started off because, and there's that much positivity and upliftment there going on, then it's great. We all.
Hi, Lydia.
Oh, hello, Lydia. How nice to see you.
Hi, Lydia.
How are you, sweetheart?
Yeah. Nice to see you. Anybody wants to comment and say, comment about different things, then please do. We'll respond to you on the program.
Please tell us
However,
how you doing.
The little.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing? But what we're going to start off with tonight is when I said to you, spirit are around us and listen. Now, last week, spirit were very much around us. However, we didn't listen clearly enough, because on replay last week, thanks to Glenn, we actually caught an EVP. And this spirit was actually speaking over the top of us, or Graeme to be more precise, but she's speaking over the top of Graeme. We actually listened to this back on the replay on Sunday. You can clearly hear it. So hopefully, perhaps you actually mentioned, and perhaps the people watching last week heard this, but it didn't actually occur to them what was actually going on. So you might well have actually caught spirit talking to us. However, Glenn's isolated this, and we're going to play it in a loop in a minute. So it'd be interesting. We've actually spoken backstage about what we think it might say. So it'd be interesting if we play this a couple of times. If you want to chat, take a message in and tell us what you think it actually says, or if anything, maybe be fantastic if one of you even recognise the voice. That'd be fantastic. So I think if Glenn might have that ready, so if we play that maybe a couple of times on loop and let people make their own minds up, we'll discuss this as well. Okay?
Right, here we go then. This is what was captured off of one of the last week's episode, like you've said over Graeme whilst he was talking. So here we go. And I'll play one more time. As you can hear, I put it in loop so you can so your ears can get used to it and then start to interpret it. So I'll play it again for you. So yeah, what does everybody think to that? If you can comment in below what you think it says, and we'll have a discussion about it. But for me, I'm struggling to hear what it was saying, simply because I was analysing it in the studio over the monitors there, and I was listening to the frequencies. So I was focusing my ears on cleaning it up so you could actually hear what was being said. But in doing so, I can't hear what it's saying personally, but
Yeah.
I do find it a fascinating capture. The fact that we got it live on air last week, and this sound source completely over our sound sources, you know,
Yeah.
it was tremendous. So I just find that fascinating in itself. But yeah, I just think we were very lucky to actually capture it.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm just listening on that. I personally picked out the word help.
Okay.
The last word. I definitely picked out the word help.
To be fair, sorry.
So that's probably the first time I probably listened to it properly. Can't quite see it. Oh, Veronica, interesting.
It is very interesting, Brian.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
I
Veronica.
mean, for anybody that wants to watch last week's show, watch it in its entirety. And it happens whilst Graeme is commenting and talking on his own. So just look out for that, and you'll hear it with your own ears that way.
I think it is available on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't put it on YouTube. It's just
Oh, right.
After listening to it just then on
you
the
mean
loop,
last week's episode?
Yeah. So, sorry, Christina, you got the stage.
After just listening to the loop just then, I agree with Carl, because Carl did say that he thought it said, please help. And to be fair, the more I've listened to it on the loop just then, I think he's spot on. I think it just say, please help. I do feel... Oh, sorry, Lydia's just commented.
Yeah, sorry, Nicole, not doing one today. Oh, bless you.
Maybe we can help change your mind about that during the course of today's show.
I think so. Going back to the EVP, I know it was when Graeme was talking, but it was just directly after Dennis was in quite a bad way, bless his soul, wasn't he? Because he'd lost both his mum and his dad within 8 weeks of each other. So I feel that I think the please help was for Dennis. That's what personally I'm feeling, because I feel that he's in quite a bad place and he really does need some help. Obviously, we all know that Graham's grieving as well, bless his heart. But, you know, he's quite in close knit with all of us, aren't you, Graeme? You're our friend. So, you know, you're readily going to get any help you need from us anyway. So because of that, I feel that was more towards Dennis that needs the help. And I also feel like it was the combined of his mum and his dad both at the same time, because it does sound quite like a woman, but it's also got a deeper tone as well. And if you listen to it, it's almost like two different tones, isn't it? It's almost like they were combining both their energies to say, please help, because directly before we was talking to Dennis, weren't we? And then you started talking, Graeme, and possibly it took them that little bit of time to actually get their energies together to boost each other, to get that message through that we do need to help him. So I don't know if you're listening, Dennis. It'd be lovely if you were. If you were, could you comment that you're watching and that you heard the message? That would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't.
There's a little toe. Go on, Graeme.
I mean, we can't specifically say where this voice is coming from or which home, because we can't determine if they want help. We can't say, it's going to be here, or it's going to be Christina's, or Glenn's, or Carl's.
I don't feel that the voice came from any of our homes, to be fair.
It didn't.
It didn't. It was projected exactly to the stream, wasn't it? It's got nothing to do with our individual homes at all. It was a direct communication.
How can we actually help them?
Yeah.
I feel like we just need to connect with Dennis and help him through the time he's going through.
Unless Dennis needs more help, and that's what they're trying to say. Dennis needs that extra help, the healing from us.
He does need. he does need help. Yeah, absolutely. I feel that quite strong. Obviously, I'm not going to go into everything that I'm getting right now because I can't. And it's not for the show as such, but he does need our help. And I think that's what the DDP was desperately asking us to help him.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody else sort of like to hear anything from that EVP? Carl, you say you definitely thought it said please help, didn't you?
Yeah. So yeah, my first thinking was please help.
Yeah. Right.
I've tried to listen for us, but all I can hear is please help.
Right. I definitely picked help out, and what was interesting there was I'd not actually heard what you thought it was. For anybody watching this, Carl said something beforehand, but I'd not been on, so I'd not had any inclinations of what Carl sort of thought. So that, I think, was quite interesting then for both of us to pick up the word help. So I think that's quite an interesting one.
Like Lisa, but I could be totally wrong. It sounds more like what Carl and what you said, Glynn. The help.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very quick. It's not as if it's.
Well, I've actually slowed that down a bit. It was quicker than that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose too much of its originality, so I just kept it at that. So I didn't overly stretch it, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I did hear the help all along. It was just the please bit I wasn't quite sure on, but then listening to it is quite clear when you listen to it over and over again. Please help.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dave, if anyone else wants to comment in with what they thought, it's
In actual fact, Glenn, just now we've established this, would it be possible just to play it one more time for the people who's listening? Because if it says please help, let's have that's what they think as well.
Right, okay. I'll play it again now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
One more time. Do you want it one more time? I'll do it again. Yeah, so there we have it.
Just every time I listen to that, I get the chills up and down my spine, and I've just overcome with emotion. I just want to cry right now. I feel so emotional.
It sounds like it sounds like desperation, doesn't it?
It does, and I think I know why. I think I know why. That I'm being told why. It's quite emotional. I just want to cry right now. It is desperation for sure.
Oh, thank you. I think we've got Veronica's
just
comment.
If you're getting emotional at the minute, hello.
Yeah, it does definitely say please help. I think it took them all their energy combined to actually project that.
Well, it was just out of pure fluke that I managed to spot it, funnily enough. After most shows that we do, I like to just, skip over them and see if there's any problems or if there's anything we can improve of. And in doing so, this sound just leaked out. And so I kept rewinding it, listening back. I'm thinking, I can hear something there. So I did, as you all will be aware, I did a screen recording of it and sent it to everybody. And I could not believe it. I tried to analyze it, and Yeah, it wasn't from any of our sound sources. It was actually over the top of it. So yeah, really unusual. We've got some more comments here coming in.
Definitely said, please help.
Is it going balmy now?
Yeah, that's Lydia.
Is it Lydia? Oh, Lydia.
Yeah.
Bless you. It does say please help, doesn't it? And I meant the dog. Oh, the dog heard it, didn't he? Lydia's dogs are quite sensitive, as all dogs are.
Hello?
I'm back.
It is.
Are we there? Have we got Glynn?
I'm back.
Well,
disappeared.
somebody's playing with the old airways tonight. We're having problems, aren't we?
Oh,
Technical
we
issues.
are.
Yes. Looking at it, yeah.
So whether some spirit is trying to get engaged, get involved with the live stream again, I don't know.
It's funny actually, Glenn, now you're saying that, because through the show I have been hearing little bits of distortion, and I was wondering if they were trying to communicate again. Yeah, it would be worth you doing a show after the show.
Hello, Christy.
I hope you're well.
Oh, we're good.
Thanks for joining in,
darling.
Yeah. Yeah. How's the parrot?
Oh, the parrot's missing my laugh.
Yeah.
Must have been the show. Your parrot would have been going crazy.
Yes. So I think that's a fantastic capture that we caught there. But I know you said you were. How are you feeling now, Christina? I know you said you were feeling really emotional.
It's only when you play the EVP. It's like I just want to cry, and the more I hear it, the more I want to cry. And when you played it again, it was almost like I thought, I'm going to cry. If you keep playing it, I will cry. It just keeps up more and more and more the more you play it.
Yeah.
So I can feel the emotion coming through with the please help, and I'm getting messages as well. Which quite, quite severe. Bless them. They really are desperate to get them some help.
Yeah.
I just wish he was watching, as I really, really do.
Yeah.
Well, he can have the rerun on Sunday.
I might have to message him.
Parrot's quiet at the moment. Time. Right. Okay.
I'll set you up at some point, Christy.
It's that laugh of yours, Christina.
Yeah.
I know.
Entices parrots.
Oh. Somebody opened my toilet door when it was bolted. That was the ferry boat in.
Oh, that's Lydia. Lydia, that was Mum. That was Mum. We've already had what happened was she went for a meal and she was feeling a little bit upset, let's say, a little bit low and feeling a bit, down on herself, let's just say. And my mum unbolted the toilet door and opened the doors of say, pull yourself together, go back for your meal, crack on.
Right.
Absolutely, she did. Right. My mum didn't mince her words in life. She's certainly not going to now.
Right. Bless her.
Yeah, absolutely, Lydia. She was there with you.
Yeah. So in a way, then, this is what we're talking about. How are you doing as well? From what Lydia's just messaged in there. So you just mentioned, Christina, that she was down and having a bit of a bad time because of Mum. Now, the toilet door opened. Which was fantastic. That took a lot of things. So Mum turned that into a positive.
She did, yeah.
It took a lot of energy.
But Mum turned that into a positive. When Lydia messaged me about it, I was like, by any chance, were you upset? And she was like, yeah, I was a bit. And I went, well, that's Mum telling you to stop feeling sorry for yourself and get out the toilet where you was upset and, crying a little bit and get out into that restaurant and enjoy your night. I hope you don't mind
old
saying
Mum's
that.
Got a win. Either that or Mum's got a wicked sense of humour and thought, let's go and open the toilet door.
No, she wouldn't have done. She wouldn't have done that. No. It was get there and
get
just a little
going.
example of my mum, and it's kind of a positive and a negative, which is ideal for the show.
Yeah.
After my mum passed away, obviously we was all at the hospital. I was signing for a death certificate, and we was all there to do what we needed to do. And after they'd switched her machine off and she'd gone, we were all crying, as we all do, all crying. And I was quite hysterically crying, to be fair, walking down this corridor. And every single time I started crying, it was like my foot was kicked from under me and I slipped in my boots.
Right.
So I'd start crying, and then my leg would go from under me like I'd been kicked. And it stopped me crying, and I'd be like, what's just happened? And then I'd carry on, I'd start crying again. And this happened all the way to the car. And at the time I just thought, I don't know why it's happening with one leg. My boots have been fine all day. Nothing wrong with her boots, they don't need healing or anything. But my mum was the kind of lady that would have said, pull yourself together or I'll kick you up the bottom, let's just say. I'll kick you up the bottom. And I feel like I was wearing little heels, not massively high, no. But she was getting me to sort myself out because I was crying. It was like, no, you're not going to do this in the middle of the hospital. You're going to pull yourself together. And it was literally every single time. And it got to the point where it stopped me crying because me and my oldest was having a bit of a chuckle about it. And Lydia was there, weren't you, Lydia? And Lydia was like, that's Mum. And I went, I know it is. And it kind of made us laugh a little bit. Because she used to always say to me in life, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to kick you up the bottom. And she did that after she'd gone as well. So quite literally. So that was like she still does it now. Yeah, she's in my ear. You know, she tells me off even now. She tells us all off.
It's also good that it's also good that you heard the message and you understood it, even though you was going through a terrible time of grief as well. You were still open enough to hear that and respond to it. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Like you say, you've literally turned a negative into a positive. And
thank you.
With you sharing that story as well this evening, you know, you would have helped other people. So it's a double positive in a way, isn't it?
Because I think even after somebody's passed, they're still going to give you those little signs that they're around you all of the time. And little tiny things, you know, even the other day I saw a robin on my garden. I've not seen a robin on my garden in so long. And I saw this robin and it was just eating this seed on the garden that I'd put down. And it just hopped onto my wall and I was just watching it and it hopped into my tree. And as I was looking at it, and I was like kind of not cheeping at it, but I was making a noise to it like I do all birds when they're in the garden. And it just looked at me and and even my dogs barked at one point and it still didn't move. And that was a sign right there. They're all around us. Oh, Lydia's just commented.
Yeah.
She did have a sense of humour. She was always here for me. Of course, I can't remember a lot of things from that time. Getting over a breakdown when she passed. Oh, I know, darling, I know. Yeah, Mum did have a sense of humour. I don't mean that she didn't have a sense of humour, Lydia. I just meant she wouldn't have opened the toilet door on you necessarily as a joke. She was funny in a lot of ways, but she wouldn't have. But she clearly knew you wasn't on the loo, didn't she? She knew you wasn't, you know. She would have known that you was decent, and that's why she could open the door. She wouldn't have done it otherwise. She wouldn't have had you with them random knees or anything, not at all. But yeah, I know, Lily, you do forget a lot of things, bless you, don't you? But, you know, a lot of things, but bless your heart. But yeah, there's positives all around if you're willing to just open up your perception a little bit. And not everything, I mean, I know people will say, oh, you know, this, that and the other, oh, it's nothing. But it is. Repeated numbers. I mean, myself and Glenn were in the car on Saturday night. We'd been to a location, haven't we, Glenn? And we saw a badger, didn't we? Run across the road.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, straight away I was on my phone and you was like, look at that badger animal totem. I was like, I'm already on it. And then I read it out, didn't I? And it was absolutely a message, wasn't it? It was a clear.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been clearer if it tried. It was absolutely spot on, relevant to everything of that evening, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
You know, it happens. It's like today. I saw a squirrel. I've not looked it up yet, but I will do. I saw this
I've
squirrel.
seen 3 of those today. Yeah.
Oh, have
Funny
you?
enough.
And I'm going to look it
Yeah.
up. And it was coming out of the hospital, and it was just crawling, scurrying round, and it didn't move. And I took a picture of it on my phone, and it still didn't move. And it ran across the road. It was just like almost like dancing, and it was making me smile. And I thought, there's a message in animal totem squirrel, so I'm going to look that up later. Maybe you should as well, Glenn, or I will, and I'll send it to you so we can both read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was working it out whilst I was driving because it ran in front of the car, and as luck would have it, I didn't run over it, so, you know, don't worry about that. Well, then I saw 2 other squirrels in 2 different locations after that as well.
Oh, wow.
So I
that's
saw 3.
By 3. Multiplied by
Yeah.
3, and it's always a power of 3, so that resonates even more so. So, definitely.
And funnily enough, where we filmed the other week with the project that me, you and Glynn are working on, that's where I was. And so I dare say the message was for all 3 of us when I do get to look at it.
There's 3 of us. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So quite possibly, this is wonderful. You saw the 3. There's 3 of us on this particular adventure.
Project.
Yes, that's an adventure, but it is an adventure. And then I saw one today. It's linking it all together, isn't it? So.
And then it was at one of the locations near to where Glynn lives. And so,
so I was just about to say Glynn will see one as well, probably in his garden or something.
Yeah.
Tomorrow or something. A message for all of us, and that's the 3 as well.
Perhaps they're looking for his nuts.
What's that?
Perhaps they were looking for his nuts.
He's nuts.
we won't talk about nuts. Don't start me off. I'll be setting Christy's parrot off in a minute.
Well, this is what happens when people are over 8. You know, you should always find them.
Oh, Christy is just...
We'll say hello, Nanny Maud, when we see a robin. She saved a baby robin once. With a picture of her holding it. Even my youngest 2 shout hello, Nanny Maud, when they see one. Oh, it's so lovely.
Yeah, that's nice, thanks, Christy.
Oh, I felt that right here for you. Oh, that is so beautiful. So whenever you see a robin, and I don't necessarily think it has to be a live robin, I think it could be a picture of a robin, a Christmas decoration of a robin. I feel like it's a message for you from Nanny Maud, and that's so beautiful. I felt that for you. Really heartfelt. That is wonderful. It really, really is. Oh. Oh, this is Lydia, I think.
Well, no, that is a little bit deeper information at the end of it.
Yeah. PMI.
Oh.
Yeah. I walked to the cemetery every day on the school run. Every day this week. There have been 6 or 7 schools every time.
Who's that, darling? Who's that?
Well, maybe look at the number. I would look at the angel. The angel number. Oh, are you, Rachel? Hope you're well.
Oh, is it Rachel? Hi, Rachel. Hi, sweetheart.
Well, I would look at the angel number 6, obviously, number 7, and then I would also join the 2 together. So I'd look at number 6 and 7 as well, 67, and then maybe add the 2 digits even together. So what's that? 13. Yeah. So you've got another number there. Add the 2 digits together again, and you've got 4. So you've got a combination of angel numbers there, and I think you'll find there's going to be quite a lot of detail within all of those messages to relate what you're going through at the moment.
Rachel, did you ever look up the angel number? Was it 267? I can't remember from Saturday. Was it 267? Or something like that on the crisp?
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. Yeah, she's there. Because she had a crisp, didn't she, Glenn? And she had the 3 numbers on the crisp, and she took a photograph of it, and we asked her.
Oh yeah, who was that?
That was Rachel.
Oh, that was a different Rachel.
Oh, was it a different Rachel? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting
Yes,
Rachel
yeah. Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's a Rachel. I'm getting my Rachels mixed up.
Hey, I think
Linda?
Glynn's he's had to answer the call of nature.
Watch the toilet door, Glenn.
If we listen closely, we might hear him sprinkling.
If he's got the microphone with him, that's the problem.
We do sprinkle when you sprinkle.
So, I mean, I'll ask the question, how is everybody doing? You know, Graeme, how are you doing? Obviously, we've spoken off air.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a confused time for you at this moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I'm all right. But like you all know, I haven't grieved yet. I tried this afternoon, but nothing came.
Yeah.
I nearly did, and I nearly did the other day when I saw my 2 cousins, Yvonne and Stephen. I nearly did that, but nothing has. I just can't grieve.
It affects everybody differently, and when the time is right and you feel comfortable, and it's usually when something random is happening, you know, like say you're watching the TV, and something will trigger it, and then it will just all come.
There's absolutely no right or wrong way to grieve.
No, not at all.
Absolutely individual to the person, and it could be something tiny or insignificant that starts you off, but it'll happen when it's the right time for you. Right. And you've just got to be really, really kind with yourself at the moment, and with your family, and just look after yourself. And if you feel a little bit low, then that's absolutely fine, and honor that, because it's just you grieving. And if you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. If you want to do something, do it. Literally do whatever makes you feel comfortable, and you know the process will sink in at the right time for you.
It feels as if I'm letting them down because I can't grieve and I'm not grieving.
No, never. You could never, ever let anybody down by not crying, because not everybody cries straight away. Sometimes it can take a week, a month, a year. Sometimes a person wouldn't cry for 5 years, and it wouldn't mean that you don't want to cry. It just means that we've all got our own coping mechanisms of crying and when we don't cry, and we've all got a different level to what will make us cry, depending on what life we've had and what we've been through. So it all varies. So you could never, ever let him down by not crying.
Because I was so close to him, and well, I love him so much. I just kind of.
He knows that, sweetheart. He knows that. He really, really does. He knows that you love him. He knows that you know how you're feeling. And quite possibly there could be that he's with you more than you realise, and possibly his presence and his spirit around you is what's making you not cry, because on some level, on some perception, even if you don't consciously know it, you feel him around you, and that comforts you, and that's why you don't cry. Because grief is when you feel like you've truly lost somebody. If you don't feel you've lost him because you still feel him around you all the time, it's like he's still with you. Therefore, that's possibly why you're not crying. So take comfort in that. As weird as that sounds, take comfort in that. Because if you're not crying, it possibly means that you're feeling him around you. And that's why.
There you go. You had your answer there, Graeme.
Yeah.
Definitely. How are you doing? How are you doing, Carl?
Apart from the flu, I'm fine. But I just want to say, obviously to Graeme and the family, we're all thinking of you, mate. We know it's a bit of a crappy time for you, but obviously we're always here for you. You know that you can talk to us anytime. But enough of that soppy stuff now, because I'm ruining my hard image.
What hard image?
No, I'm okay.
He hasn't got a hard image, guys.
That's not what you said, Christina.
Don't start. I've got to be honest.
I'm okay. I'm just suffering from the flu, and it's man flu as well. So obviously you guys will understand the pain of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear brother.
So yeah, that's it. But apart from the flu, I'm fine.
Are you sure it's the flu?
Good to it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. To be honest, could be anything nowadays, couldn't it? 2020 can't get much worse.
Not really.
As long as it's not the plague, I'm fine.
Don't worry about it. No, it's probably some man flu.
Yeah.
That's
That's it.
And how are you doing, Christina? How's things with you?
I'm all right, thank you. I look at the positive in everything. I always have done, and to be fair, I probably always will. So I take every day, as it comes. If something happens, which inevitably it does in life, I just flip it round on itself. Sometimes I'll have a moment and I think, no, you're not doing this. I flip it round on its head, think on the positive, crack on with my day. Listen to a lot of music. Music energizes me, and it's almost like my meditation as well. So if I'm ever in like a funk, as we all are sometimes, I think music, and I walk with the music, and I pay attention to my surroundings, but then I listen to my music and I sing about. Even when I'm cleaning, I'll sing about and I'll dance when I'm cleaning. I like to make even the most mundane, boring things fun, because that's what keeps you going. It's the little things, isn't it, that keep you going through the day.
Don't tell me, Tiffany, I think we're alone now is in your playlist.
Absolutely. Bit of erasure now as well. Bit of erasure too.
Oh, nice one.
We were belting out
Glynn,
erasure on Saturday night, weren't we?
Oh, in the car, yeah.
We were cracking.
Yeah.
It was cracking. A bit of cheese, they were wonderful. Proper lifting up the vibrations up.
It does, yeah.
Doing decent. This has gone out live on the internet now. You're an Erasure fan.
I
loved them back in the day. I don't mind. I loved them back in the day.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
And how are you, Glynn? How's things with you?
Everyone's gone.
Yeah.
I'm
back now.
Back in the room.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, back in the room then. Sorry, I was just reading a comment from Facebook user about agreeing. I mean, you get by, don't you? Say you have your ups and your downs, your good days and your bad days.
Oh, yeah, Veronica, well done.
That's a cracking song.
That's the only one.
That's a decent
Yeah,
one.
it is actually, isn't it?
It is. No,
but pump up the volume.
Is that yours, Lydia? Erasure. I like
yeah. Sorry, Glynn, you were saying.
Sorry.
You're getting on with things with work and that.
We're going to get random 80s bands now. Yeah. 80s bands now coming up. Aren't we now?
Do you know what? It's good music. Soul music.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, when I was at Tesco's, I was singing along to Duran Duran. And,
good lad.
There you go.
Yeah, and there was some people saying, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hello, I'm Glynn and I'm a Duran Duran fan. Yes, thank you.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of cheese.
No, the thing is, the people who I work with had never even heard of it.
They've never heard of that song.
They've never even heard of Duran Duran.
What a legendary band.
Oh, no.
That's criminal.
Isn't it? Oh, my God.
Yeah. They said, who?
Right.
No,
that was amazing.
Well done, you, Veronica. She might do Randy Brown. Let's everybody else go-to song then. Come on, let's have a bit of a music as well.
Duran, I like that. Is it Ordinary World? They did that, didn't they? That was a good tune.
Yeah, Rio, Hungry Like the Wolf.
Oh,
yeah.
Boys.
I used to play that in a band, Hungry Like the Wolf. Really
I'm on my home time after you.
Yeah,
that's the one.
So like Christina, the music was keeping you going.
It was.
Well, it has to, hasn't it?
Music always keeps going. Human League. Oh, that's a good one. Without Runners.
Ultravox. Oh, yes.
Vienna.
I think you've been looking into my record collection.
That's a cracking tune.
Is this the next 15 minutes? We're just going to randomly shout band names out and get a good shout.
You know what? That's Cooper feeling. Oh, Alice Cooper. I love that one as well. That's a cracking banger. I was just that the other day. I love it. That's
AC/DC, yeah.
AC/DC.
My friends met Alice Cooper, so I'm quite envious.
Oh, no. Jealous.
Yeah, she's a wrestler, and he was on the same event, so he like walked him down to the ring.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Alice Cooper was the first ever big gig that I went to when I was 13.
Oh, Alice Cooper as well.
Rock City, by any chance?
I loved that song back in the day.
Aerosmith, yeah.
Oh.
I've still got the LP of Loving in an Elevator.
I still love that song.
Wow, nice one.
It still gives me chills. It does.
Awesome.
I've got the Appetite for Destruction LP.
Have you? Oh,
excellent. That's quality. Well, here's a prime example of us taking a negative and turning it into positive. And we're using the medium of music in order to do that. So, you know. Oh, hello. We've got some
Christy's just messaged in again.
Yeah.
7-year-old daughter loves the song Poison.
Alice Cooper. Yeah.
Good for you. That's a brilliant. I love it, Heidi. It's one of mine.
It beats bands rather than we've got at the moment.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know about any.
To be fair as well.
I was going to say, I don't know about anybody else.
What are you going on about? Go on, Glenn.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I don't know about anybody else, but a lot of the younger generation at the moment, they don't even like today's music. They're actually listening to music way back in the 80s and the 70s because they are tuning with it, because a lot of today's music is very like on the negative in terms of the lyrics. Also, the musical content is very limited in today's music. It's almost as if it's been drawn.
Take the swear words out of the songs, there's nothing left.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So, I mean, my daughters, they love all the 80s stuff and, you know, a lot of the classic rock bands and things like that. And they've just seemed to gravitate to that, you know.
It's the whole thing, though, isn't it, of songs from back then, just as valid and current now as they were back then. There's probably going to be a lot of songs that won't be remembered.
Yeah.
You know, in this.
Oh, nice one. Wow. Nice one, Christy. Good effort. I like that.
Good for you. That's a good effort.
I mean, it was a couple of years ago, I was told I was asked to go and photograph this guitarist at the Sage. His name was Robin Thrower.
Oh, is he a blues player?
He is now.
Yeah.
He was in Procol Harum.
Ah, okay.
White a shade of pale.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, that's like the time of like, well, grew up when, that was out when your mum was little and she was buying those records, and I was like, I'm getting to listen to them now.
Yeah.
And it felt quite, it was surreal, but it was like, it was a great feeling, like seeing something from like the 60s playing blues in front of us and get to photograph him.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
That is awesome.
And he was absolutely brilliant. I mean, despite his age,
Oh, age can mean nothing to
Oh, no.
a true musician. Absolutely nothing at all. It can just carry on
about
going.
the spirit. It's about the spirit, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's like
coming through him.
Mentioned in groups, and it's like when you mention them inside in the text, it's like I can go back. I can remember back when I first heard that song and what I was doing, and it's like it's been
Prince. My father was a massive Prince fan. Oh, Prince! He's got some cracking tunes, Prince, didn't he?
In fact, I played Purple Rain in one of the bands I'm in.
Purple Rain, I was about to say that.
Yeah, play that.
I mean, again, it's still bringing be the positive.
Sorry.
It's taking it back to a point in life when you can remember it.
Johnny Cash.
Absolutely. Takes you right back, doesn't it? That medium of music is so powerful. You can remember an insignificant point in your life purely by a song.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the song.
I was there, I was this, I was wearing that, I was at this place. You can literally pinpoint any point of your life because of a song.
I can remember it.
Absolutely.
When I first saw it played, it was on MTV. When MTV first came over here on Sky, we got Sky for free for a month, but we had it for 6 months. And that's when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Like back in the early 80s.
And not only that, music is the best route of getting a message from a loved one, and it's probably the easiest as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Blue Savannah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Great tune.
It was like
Vince Clarke as well. What an absolute legend.
He was a talent, really, wasn't he? Out of the two,
he was in. Was it Yazoo with Alison Moyer? He was in that as well.
Yeah.
He was in Depeche Mode as well.
Yes.
He was so
talented guy.
From the 80s music. Oh, showing me age. Neil Sedaka.
Oh,
Neil Sedaka. Is that Lydia? Is that you, Lydia?
Here's a question for everyone. What has got 300 legs and no teeth? The first 3 rows of a Daniel O'Donnell concert.
Hey!
Boom!
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen "We Will Rock You," have they? The musical.
Yeah,
I bet that's good. Is that a Freddie Mercury?
Yeah. It's just it's just remember about it.
Queen. Oh my
God.
I thought it was.
To me, Freddie Mercury is the greatest singer of all time, in my opinion.
It was just he encompassed everything about it, didn't he? He was a showman, literally the greatest showman.
Bohemian Rhapsody, what a beautiful song! I love to put that one out. I love it.
But America didn't like it though, did they? Because it was too far ahead of its time.
Did they not?
No.
He was quite
bombed in America.
Time, though, wasn't it, really? Yeah. Oh, well, it's good for us, though, because it didn't here, did it?
Somebody likes you, Carl.
Thank you. Can't beat a dad joke.
Lydia.
There's a career left in you somewhere there, mate.
Boom.
That's it.
That's right, Glenn.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He knew what I meant.
But no, for me, Freddie was the greatest singer of all time, and I think knowing what we know now, his song "Who Wants to Live Forever" so poignant because obviously, he was talking about his life and his illness that wasn't cured, and now we know what we know about him. That to me is such an emotional song.
I think that was Brian May that wrote that.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, really? Bohemian Rhapsody was very emotional. Yeah. If you listen to the words you're singing on to them, you can feel his emotions in that song. So strong, can't you? So poignantly.
I think one of the lines in "We Will Rock You."
Yeah. Sorry.
I'll say one of the lines in "We Will Rock You." If Graham's seen it, computer. This is the part of it, and it's going back to the 80s music. It says, computer read programming artist productions. CRAP. It says, yes, Queen foretold at the time that crap would dominate the charts, and I think it's about come to pass.
Yeah.
I was just going to say to Veronica, if that's all right.
Yeah.
She just messaged in saying that Freddie Mercury was her mum's favourite, and obviously we're talking about Freddie, so I kind of feel like your mum's around, Veronica. I feel like this is her way of validating that she's already with you, because we're talking about Freddie quite, openly, and he was her favourite. So I think there's a message within that for you, darling.
I mean,
I really do.
Go back to things like that. I mean, my gran, when I was a child, and apparently her favourite song was Mulf Kintyre. And there was one day we were just sitting talking about my grandma, and then all of a sudden on TV the video started playing, and it was like, well, Mulf Kintyre. It was like she's around, she's hearing us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, you're welcome, babe. You're welcome, darling.
Well, usually you'll find that spirit will give you a message through the medium of songs, like we've just witnessed there with what Christina's just channeled in.
Yeah.
But not necessarily directly like that. There may be a little bit of homework that you've got to do. So, for example, like you've said, Graeme, if all of a sudden a song comes on the radio or whatever, or wherever you are, and that invokes a memory of a person, then obviously that is sharing that link with you. But I would look even deeper into that and go and research the lyrics within that song, because there'll be words within that song that your loved ones are trying to convey to you. Yeah. So always delve a little bit deeper. Don't discount anything that you see, hear, or feel. There's always a message.
Always. That's one of the little lessons I always tell people that want to sort of develop and channel in themselves. One of the first things I ask them to do is literally have a random selection of music on a phone or whatever, or even on the telly, and then just see what comes on, and then ask for and read into the lyrics of the song, because there's always a message within every song that comes on. Or just say, I need help with whatever, and if something comes on, there's your answer. But you have to, like Glenn says, you have to read into the lyrics of the song, and then just see what sort of gets highlighted within your mind, or whatever springs to mind at the same time.
I can relate this to this. I don't know who it is. This Facebook user just put the Shadows were my mum's favourite. Apache.
That's Lydia.
Right. Well, with that as well. I mean, the Shadows. Apache is Native American Indian, isn't it? So it's that culture. It's connected to Earth. And the Shadows, I mean, the Native American Indian culture spoke about the shadow people. In other words, like the spirit people that we can't see, but we can sense and that. So that's very apt in itself. Now, I know a lot of the Shadows music didn't have didn't have lyrics in them. But just reading that title there, that's what came to the front of my mind. So, it's a message that she is still around you.
That was a song that she came into.
Okay.
And it's funny because I burned the Shadows CD for her, and that was the first song on it, and that's the one she loved the most. And like I say, it's very instrumental in particular, and it's very...
It is, yeah.
It's spiritual in its own right, really, isn't it? But when you look into sort of Shadows and Apache and Native Indian, very much so. So that is definitely, like Ben says, Lydia, it's saying that you're feeling low at the moment, but Mum is around you and she's with you. All you've got to do is listen. I feel like at the moment your head's so clouded with everything else. You're not listening to what she's telling you. And sometimes you've got to quiet your mind to hear the messages that are coming to you. So don't overthink every little detail of your life. See what comes in and just pay attention to the signs and what you get through. Don't overthink everything, because you'll send yourself like mad, but also you'll be missing so many messages that Mum is sending to you all the time on a daily basis. You know, just quieten your thoughts down and just let them come in, because they are there. She's talking to you. I know that for definite. It's just that, like you're saying, you don't always listen for her, but she is there with you.
And I would say with this message we've just had from Veronica is sometimes I get random songs stuck in my head. Well, they're not stuck in your head. They're given to you, like I've just mentioned there. It's up to you whether you follow up on those songs, have a listen, research the lyrics. But you're receiving messages from spirit there. A lot of people don't believe it, but go and research it.
Myself and my oldest, she'd often say, "Mum, I've got a song in my head," and I say, "Right, we'll listen to it," and we'll both sit down together and we'll listen to it. And sometimes I'll listen to it for her, because I'll be getting messages through for her that perhaps sometimes because she's overthinking, like Lydia does, or like we all do at times, she's not getting them through. So I say, right, okay, we'll sit down and we'll listen. Sometimes I'll say to her, I've got a song in my head, and she'll say, right, we'll listen to it, and she'll give me the messages from it. All you've got to, if you've got a song in your head, it's not a coincidence. It is a message, like Glenn says, 1,000%, absolutely. Yeah. All you've got to do, listen to it. Even if you've got to listen to it 2 or 3 times, you will get that message that's within that song for sure, because it always will be. It's not a coincidence. If there's a song in your head for no reason, it's been placed there for a purpose. And all you've got to do is tap into that and get your message. And that goes for anybody, really, all of us.
Oh, bless you. Yeah.
I've got to choose a song for mine now.
Angels, by Robbie Williams.
Yeah, I chose Angels by Robbie
Williams. Beautiful. That's a beautiful song.
It is.
It is.
It's a gorgeous one.
Yeah.
Very poignant.
I think I'd just like to sort of finish off with a little story. I hope he doesn't mind me saying. A good friend of mine, and Glenn knows who he is. I'm sure they definitely use, they use all sorts of amazing ways to get through to it. Definitely.
Absolutely.
A good friend of ours, and you know him, Glenn.
Yes. Okay.
He's recorded this story. He's told me the story, but I'm not going to use his name tonight. But his dad passed while he was on holiday, and he couldn't get back in time because he got delayed. Flight got delayed, and he just obviously he was depressed in the airport, and just out of desperation, just to use some money up, he bought some whiskey just to use a bit of the currency up. Never thought anything about it. Got home after he'd sort of come to terms with the fact his dad had died. Got home, got in the car, turned the radio on. What was the first thing that came on the radio was Father and Son by Boyzone.
Oh,
and that was actually the last song that his dad played. The last time he dropped his dad off, that was on the radio.
That's so lovely. Aww.
And then that was the first song that he actually heard afterwards. And I think that was a fantastic thing. He will tell you about that. But also, when he got home and opened the whiskey, what was in it? It was his dad's name on the whiskey bottle.
Oh my goodness me!
He's still got that bottle today, and he'd probably show it here.
Oh, but he'll always have it, won't he, as well? Bless him.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
incredible evidence.
That just shows there's absolutely no hard feelings when someone's passed over, regardless of whether you've seen them or you've not had a chance to say goodbye or what have you. They always give you the signs that everything's okay. They always, there's never any ill feeling when anyone passes over, and I think that's comforting because I feel some people feel that if someone's passed and they've not seen them or what have you, or there's a reason, or there was a, feud or what have you. But you've got to take comfort that when someone passes over, there is no hard feelings, there's no ill feelings, all that, it doesn't matter anymore. It's gone. And certainly with yourself, Graeme, don't ever feel bad. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and your uncle knows that. He knows that you love him, and he's with you. And take comfort in the fact that you probably aren't crying because you're feeling.
Yeah. So I think I'd just like to say thanks to everybody for contributing tonight. As always, the show wouldn't run without you. So it's great that you do message in and interact with us, because it makes that hour go quicker. Well, actually, it's just over an hour. So we do appreciate you joining in. You're the ones that make this run as well. We love doing it.
And they're interacting with each other as well, aren't they? Which is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that everyone's talking to each other as well. It's like we're feeling the love. We're feeling the love.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, and I say thanks to Glenn, Graeme, Carl, and Christina, because you're the glue that keeps everything going as well. And I just thought, because we're talking about music for some reason, music's coming for some reason, and it's just come to me, really, at the end of it. We're all chipped in, we all like his music, and it has some messages for you. And thanks, you guys have been lovely. As usual.
Thank you, Christy.
Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you, Christy.
And
Thank you.
Love and best wishes to Cork as well.
Thank
you. Sweetheart, take care.
Yeah, but hopefully we've helped. Go on, Graeme, you say something, mate.
I've got a couple of things. When we were talking about, obviously it's getting to the end of October. Well, just started, but it's in October now, and I got something about somebody wanting to dress up with it being Halloween, and they were so enthusiastic about dressing up that they would dress up early for Halloween, even though it's not until like the end of the month. And that's what I've got. And I've also got the spiritualist healing prayer hymn in my head.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I think I know which healing prayer you're on about.
Yeah,
probably God of Light. But thank you for that. Hopefully, with that last, thank you, mate. But hopefully, with that last story and all the healing that's been sent out today, and in particular people that are struggling, like I say, there's no right way, no wrong way with grief or anything like that. But if anybody is struggling in their own mind, I'm going to finish off with a song title from the 80s again, and I think it's so poignant, of by Journey, and it just simply is "Don't Stop Believing."
Oh, that's wonderful.
Very good. Yeah.
Because whatever it is, no matter how bad you sometimes feel, don't stop believing, because they're always with you. Good night. God bless you, and take care. We'll see you next week.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.